All right, welcome. Just wanted to hop on today and go through a little bit of the markets. My goal is to just hop on as regularly as I can and just get into the flow, show what I'm looking at, show or speak about some of the things that I've learned, and based on your feedback, then I'll start to hone in on what you guys think is most valuable. But overall, this is a vlog, even for my own purposes, to just document my trading journey, document my mindset in this space. I really love this space and love teaching, love learning, and it's a lot of fun. It's been a long journey to understand, at least for my own goals, this space. But now that I have understood it to a degree where I believe I found something that I can just, find value very often. And I think that's a powerful thing. And I think I can share a little bit about that. So today on this episode, I'm just going to dive in a little bit more free flow on what I'm looking at in the markets today. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, let's actually start here on the bubble maps and just get an idea of, I like looking at this map because it just gives me a pulse of the market, if you will. It's called crypto bubbles. And you can see green bubbles mean that it's a green day in the market. We're seeing the daily performance. So for example, Theta up 45% for the day, STX up 17% for the day. So this might be something that I use to just kind of get a temperature gauge on the market. So overall, a green day in the market. Now, sometimes you'll see days where there's just a few coins that are green. That might mean that it is a coin-specific thing. Or if you see something like today, where you see all of these coins, relatively all of them green, it's more of like a systematic thing. The entire crypto market is systematically or systemically, whatever the word is bullish. So these are the things I kind of look for. Is it just a few outliers that are performing, or is it the overall market? So today we kind of have a mix of both. There's some outliers, but also some just overall bullish market performance right now. I know for sure, well, not for sure, but you guys can't see it, but we have a Kosh network. It's a little bit of a bigger bubble. That's a fundamental. I think Coinbase is going to add it to their list. So I like staying on the top 1 to 100, but sometimes I go down a little bit more to see, maybe there's some smaller cap coins or the next layer down, 100 to 200. How is that looking? Like WIF, for example, I think there's some sort of exchange adopting this meme coin, dog with hat. So that's kind of a big piece that I'll look at. Another thing I like to look at in the markets is an economic calendar. So especially on days like Mondays, what I'll do on this economic calendar, this one is investing.com, is I want to look at the macro side of things. So what I'll do here is just filter it on 3 stars and get an idea on what the market from a macro perspective, from a country perspective during the week, what we might see. So I trade against the dollar. So I'm really going to be focusing on the United States, but sometimes other countries, if it's a big enough event, it could affect other than the last home sale numbers for the prior month. So this probably was interpreted bullish because it was a bullish day. But overall, I want to see if there's some major news coming up. We have durable goods. Big one here, this is a big market mover, is GDP. So maybe I'll start to think about how the market might react. Today is Monday. So we have Tuesday and then GDP Wednesday. So is the market going to be hesitant before GDP numbers come out, or is the market going to try to front run those numbers? These are the kind of things that I look at. The big one for the United States, so here's for the euro down here, is CPI. So the US, the whole deal right now is that inflation, consumer prices, also producer prices need to come down. So a lot of these CPI numbers are driving the market. So we don't have any for the United States this week. So that's good in terms of kind of normalcy. Personally, I'm a trader that likes to trade normalcy in the markets because I can't really predict, say we have some major news happening. I can't really predict what the market's going to do. A lot of times you don't know if the major news, say it is bullish news. Well, what if the market has already priced that news in? And then, there's no more buyers. So then the market will actually sell off and bullish news actually can turn somewhat bearish. Also bearish news, maybe the market is already priced in that bearish news and you believe that the market's going to go down, but it's been oversold. Or maybe the news wasn't as bearish as expected, or maybe the news wasn't as bullish as expected, or vice versa, or it's even more bearish than expected, or even more bullish than expected. And whether or not those are priced in, I think that's a difficult game to play. So I'm not the type of person who likes to trade heavy news days or heavy news weeks. I like to trade kind of the normal markets. And that, at least for me, has been helpful because usually normal market conditions promote normal moves in the market. So if there's key areas that are being, say, broken or tested in a normal market condition, I can expect a generally normal move from those places. So that's a big piece for me when it comes to news. I actually am the type of trader that likes to avoid the news. So that's what I'm looking for in the news. If we go down to the chart here, first thing we'll look at is Bitcoin. So we scroll down to the day. So today, it's now a new day in the market. The Bitcoin's still running up, but a bullish day for Bitcoin. Sorry, my computer's running slow here. I'm trying to zoom in, but you can see here this bullish day for Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up since the open. So it closed about 5% higher. So that's a pretty big day for Bitcoin. You can see even just compared to these last bullish days, last kind of bullish day that started a big run was down here. That's even a smaller move than we got today. So something significant, I think, is happening for the Bitcoin space. We have these Bitcoin ETFs that have been approved. So there's a lot of buying in the Bitcoin ETF space. So if I go back to see the news here a little bit, kind of close some of these down. Maybe it'll make it faster. But here's an article that's stating that the new 9, I guess they're calling it, spot Bitcoin ETF volumes reach a new daily high as Bitcoin reaches 50 or nears 55K. So what they're seeing is these ETFs have a lot of interest and they have a lot of volume that is being traded. So let's see here. So trading volumes for the 9 topped at 2.4 billion on February 26th. So that's today. And it's beating the prior record of 2.2 billion. And that was January on its first trading day. So the volume is greater today than on its first trading day. So that's really significant. Michael Saylor also bought Bitcoin, I think, earlier, either today or this week. So there's some big institutional buying going on. And I guess even with Grayscale in the mix, there was 3.2 billion if you include Grayscale in the mix. So that's pretty bullish news. I think that's a big reason why we're seeing Bitcoin start to push up. So if we look at Ethereum, very similar. We have Ethereum being super bullish as well. And some people are speculating that this might be due to an Ethereum ETF being created right now, possibly to be approved in May. And also there is an upgrade happening to Ethereum called, I believe, the Dencun, or I'm terrible at pronouncing things. Let's look at the article. Let's see if I can pronounce this for us. Yeah, Dencun upgrade is supposed to be happening here, I think mid-March. And this is a upgrade to the Ethereum network, and it's supposed to help the Ethereum network scale, especially for layer 2s. It's supposed to make layer 2 transactions cheaper. So this article is saying it's not enough for Ethereum, but maybe that could be the reason why Ethereum is pumping. Another thing we have for Bitcoin is the halving coming up. So if you don't know, Bitcoin is mined, and basically computers competing to solve a math puzzle. And those that solve the math puzzle produce a Bitcoin block, which rewards that miner a certain amount of Bitcoin. And every single 4 years, or every 4 years about, is called the halving. And the halving means that the reward for every block of Bitcoin mined is actually going to be cut in half. So right now, let's see what the reward is. Just want to be sure. 6.25. So it's 6.25 Bitcoin that get reward for every block mined. And this is going to go down to 6.25. So 3.12, right? 6.25 divided by 2, 3.125. That's what the reward is going to be at. So that is effectively making the supply of Bitcoin, the new supply entering the market, twice as scarce, which is a big deal. Having any asset become twice as scarce from a new supply perspective is a big deal. And I'll show you kind of how Bitcoin has typically reacted during those halvings. But this halving is supposed to be, I guess they're estimating right now, is April 25th, 2024. So about 2 months from now. So pretty exciting. So we have the ETFs and we have the halving event coming up. So these really make sense for, Bitcoin to be pushing like it is. And really crazy to look at, if I just look at the Bitcoin chart here, here is Bitcoin's all-time high. That is that 69K. Look at where Bitcoin is now. It's not far from its all-time highs here, at 69K. That's only 24% away from its bottom, from Bitcoin's bottom here. Bitcoin is up over 250%. So that's crazy. It's what was that again? So it's already up 250%. And it's only at 25% to go to reach its all-time highs. And from a chart perspective, if I just kind of outline where the market is broken out from, you can see maybe this zone here, a little bit of resistance. The market broke out from that area of resistance. The next area of potential resistance from where the market broke out, I think is around 62,000. So there's only imbalance in the chart here. If you kind of read charts like that, only imbalance here, not a lot of order flow. So I think the market's going to drastically push up here into that 60K mark very soon. So this is a weekly chart, so maybe it could be a week or 2 weeks from now, but I really see Bitcoin pushing up towards those highs, which is really crazy because let's just kind of look at prior market cycles here. Just zooming out for Bitcoin, let's just clean it up. And what I'm going to do here is I have a indicator that shows me every halving event for Bitcoin. So you can see the first halving event, what happened, Bitcoin was pushing around $3 all the way up to about $11, $12. And then after the halving, the market had a new high all the way up to about $1,000. Then Bitcoin kind of sold off and then came around to the second halving around $600. And then it pushed up to a high of around $19,000. Crazy. And then same thing, we have our third halving, Bitcoin around 8K, 8 to 10K. And then it pushes up after the halving to its new high of 69K. So that was its most recent high. So, but one thing that's interesting is look at this. Here's the market high before the halving. the market doesn't cross that high until, let's see here, until 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see. Looks like 184 days after that halving. Here's the next high. Here's the halving. Doesn't cross that halving for 183 days. And here is the high currently. We're already almost there. And I guess, let's see, April's pretty close by, but I wonder. Boom, there's April. Maybe Bitcoin is going to cross its prior highs even before the halving. We have major institutions in the mix here. So maybe they're going to push this up faster than retail was doing, back here in 2016 or 2020. So really interesting stuff, powerful stuff for Bitcoin. Do I know where Bitcoin is going? No, I do not. But I believe it's definitely going higher than its prior highs. So really exciting stuff there. So I hope that helps. Let's talk about some other things that I'm looking at in the market. Okay, let's see. So the most recent one that I got in was just earlier today. This coin is STX. I got into STX here, really just a smaller time frame trade. On the daily time frame, seeing a little bit of resistance here, a breakout. And STX is actually part of the Bitcoin ecosystem. So when Bitcoin runs, typically STX runs. So I wanted to get into this, stop loss around these lows. And the market is pushing up pretty nicely, closed exactly at my entry the day and is running up here. So really, really looking forward to seeing how this trade pans out. But that's my most recent trade. See, another one I got into, I think I might have talked about this one on the last call, but this isn't looking as promising, but has a nice breakout. It's Coin98. I don't know too much about it. I think it's a wallet as well. I'm really much a technical trader. So seeing this nice breakout on nice volume on the 4-hour, but it's kind of moving sideways. So it might start to come down a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit forgotten because of all the Bitcoin hype. One thing I've noticed is a lot of times when the bigger coins run, like if you see Bitcoin running or Ethereum running, the altcoins are going to kind of hold steady, I've found sometimes. And until those cool off, then you usually see, the capital flows typically go from greatest to smallest. And, I don't think I'm the only one that sees that. And it makes sense. For example, if crypto is in a bear market and it's at its most uncertain area in the market cycle, what coin are you going to trust that is going to recover from that the most? Well, it's going to be Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is the most tried and true. So if you're going to bet on any horse that's going to come back after a bear market, it's Bitcoin. So, and the next is Ethereum, and the next is higher cap altcoins, and then you get down to your lower cap and meme coins. But the biggest thing is kind of understanding how those flows work. So you'll usually see, the first trust into Bitcoin. Then once people are taking profits at those levels for their Bitcoin trades, a lot of times it makes sense to maybe invest in altcoins that might be, a little more risky, but now you have profit, right? And then once you have profit from the higher cap coins, a lot of the extra profit goes into, like, say, lower cap and meme coins. So that's kind of why I believe it works that way. So sometimes you'll see altcoins pushing up, but if you get a big Bitcoin day or Ethereum day, usually after those pump, you'll see energy come back to those smaller coins. Okay, another longer term position I'm in. I think I touched on this. Maybe I didn't. This is Celo. So Celo having a really nice basing pattern here. Get some of the stuff out. Decent breakout, pushing up decently. Looking to really ride this one up quite a bit here. Probably even higher. This is a solid position for me, in my opinion. So looking to hopefully ride this for the next market cycle. But of course, how this is managed will determine how it goes down. If there's a huge pullback, I might be out, etc. So ideally hold it for a long time. All right, we talked about Uniswap on the last call. This had a very big breakout. There was I think it was not a full agreement, but a proposal that there's going to be staking rewards for Uniswap. Uniswap rocketed up very aggressively, but it's kind of holding stagnant. Not sure if it's going to come down, but it has been selling off over the last few days here. Makes sense. It's going to cool down a little bit after a big push up, especially it's like the 16th largest coin. All right, I think we might have talked about OGN, another big position trade. Decided to get in after this nice U-shaped recovery here, pushing up pretty nicely, hit my first take profit level, might hit my second take profit level. And these are just my own personal ideas. You know, I'm not sure how much I'm going to go into the rationale. I'll go into some things, but just kind of showing you what I'm looking at. You know, everybody has their own way of trading. That's the cool part of this market. You know, I have certain trades like this where I'm looking for longer term positions, or I have trades that are a little bit shorter term, looking at, say, STX. This was kind of on the daily chart. Coin98. This is on the 4-hour chart. One of my students today, one of my students, or I forgot which day it was, but they were like, oh, you know, you only trade, you know, all you have to look for is a cup. You know, I was trading a cup pattern or a cup and handle pattern. And I wanted to make sure that's just not, I don't just trade cups. Sure, some people might just trade cups, but it just so happens that the shape was a cup. And this might be good for, say, chart pattern traders or somebody who wants to be a chart pattern trader. I think it's less about, you know, the pattern's important, but really it's why you want to enter at that certain area during a pattern, and what time frame does it make sense that that pattern is valid. What patterns do you see working in the assets that you're trading versus are not working? Because sometimes patterns work really well for certain assets. Maybe it's crypto, maybe it's not stocks, maybe it's foreign exchange market. The key thing is understanding what's working. I think that's a big piece. And regardless of the pattern, you know, your entry point on that pattern, I think is critical. So let's just touch on that real quick. So let's just look at, I think we talking about Celo. So a big reason I wanted to enter Celo on this level is I see basically a big push downwards. And then I have a test up here. I have another test, a huge push downwards. I have a few tests back here. So it's clearly a significant zone. It doesn't necessarily have to be this pattern. Could just draw a line. But that's why I got in, is the market is getting above an area that had strong selling pressure. So strong selling pressure was over here before. You know, getting in when the price is now above that pressure makes sense to me. You know, there's other ones. Let's see. For example, like Dezo. Actually, let's go to Helium. Here's a good example. It's actually almost ready for me to get back in, which is awesome. But the first pattern I was looking for, I took this little trade, little over 3-to-1 trade. But this was an ascending wedge pattern. You know, you see this ascending wedge coming up, started to get in at the top over here. You know, see touch, 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 got in, took a little trade, actually stopped myself out in profit, but might be getting back in here. But, you know, I don't just trade one pattern. I guess that's a big piece. And it's not necessarily a pattern. It's the rationale on why you got in. Or at least for me, that's how I think of it. Okay, what else? I think, all right, here's one I missed. I keep missing some of these trades, and it's quite annoying. So actually, it's coming back a little bit. This could be, maybe I might try to get in again. But this is Aerodrome Finance. This is a decentralized platform on the Base network, so for Coinbase. So I don't think it's really being paid attention to much, but it's having a breakout into new territory. So I wanted to get in, but for some reason didn't see my alert. Already pushed up decently, but maybe it's going to come back down. But I don't really like anything that comes back down. So we'll see about that one. But an example of something getting away from me. Happens more often than I would like to have happen. Okay, so the last thing I'll kind of give you guys before I hop off here is what I'm seeing happen here. So this is probably the most exciting piece that I'm looking at, and I really think that we're about to have an alt season. So what I have pulled up here at the top is called Total 3. This is the total crypto market without Bitcoin and without Ethereum. So now it's just the altcoin space. It's almost $600 billion. And what I want you to notice on this chart is this area back here, say in August 21, where the market really pushed up aggressively. And then kind of, danced around, moved down, but then pushed down aggressively. These are areas of what I call imbalance in the market. It's really where the market is just either bidding upwards super aggressively or selling off super aggressively. And often when price gets into this, or market cap in this case, gets into these areas, you're going to see a similar move. So this is a pretty big move here, and the alts are already starting to push up into this, where we could see a alt season or a little alt season in the market. This is a 57% move for the total altcoin market. So I really believe we're going to see a huge move in alts for the next few weeks here. Maybe something like this or like this. We have let's just say here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 weeks of just straight bullish movement for altcoins. So super excited for that. I think, well, at least the charts are showing that it's going to happen. If we look at total 1, just kind of, let's mark up the same areas. So the same areas was this breakout over here. This is this imbalance. Mark these up. Same thing, imbalance up here. This is the total market, including Bitcoin. Down here, boom. And look at what Bitcoin did. This chart did, or the total crypto market, I'm sorry. It bridged that move. If I go to total 3, that move is just beginning. So from a chart perspective, it looks like it might be game on for altcoins. So that's a crazy exciting time. I think that's a time where, big gains in accounts can happen. So something I'm going to be doing is just really paying attention to the market, trying to make as smart of trades possible, and trying to make the most of that move that I can. I think it'll be a great, powerful move and a way to build up the bag, if you will. So on that note, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys like me hopping into the charts a little bit, just let me know. I'll also be looking to give some of the things that I've learned specifically, maybe little mini lessons as well. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.